You're listening to the Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Jeez, I always love getting this man on. It's been too long between drinks.
Far too long.
The magnificent Russell Crowe. Welcome, Rusty.
The great man.
Morning, gentlemen. How would you be? How is Friday progressing?
Well, the weekend's here. We love Fridays, Russell.
You know what? I saw Ed a little while ago in Firenze, Florence.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I'd said to him once before, because I've seen him a few times. I've seen him in really odd places too. Well, you know, odd considering I live in Australia, but like somewhere in like Cincinnati, I think I saw him, and you know, just whenever I'm sort of close by, I just pop in and say g'day. His concerts, if you've never seen Ed in concert, he's amazing.
The best.
Absolutely amazing. He's so on point, and he makes everything up every night. You know, because he uses the pedals that he uses.
Oh yeah.
So nothing's pre-recorded. You know, it's sort of like on the night he's going to make the samples as he goes, and then sing the song. It's fantastic. But I saw him in Florence, and I talked to him before about how, you know, I don't really dig, you know, big concerts and big crowds and stuff, you know, so I kind of have to force myself to go. I mean, I love the experience of the music and stuff, but not necessarily the crowd, you know, when everybody's going, Rusty! You know,
do the line from Gladiator.
You know, 1,000 conversations are not necessarily that enthusiastic.
No.
Having, you know.
So
I said to him this thing, and particularly in Italy, because of Il Gladiator, you get Massimo, that sort of shit. So I arrived for the gig backstage in front of this big outdoor place, you know, and then he's walking, like literally walking on the stage. He says, "Come on, man." So I'm walking on the stage with him. I can see the crowd and everything. They can see him starting to go crazy. And he just points, right? And off to the sides of the stage, right, is like a little table, an ashtray, a couple of bottles of water, and a comfortable chair. So it's like...
That's your seat.
It wasn't a comfortable chair. I bullshitted about that. It was a rotate. That's comfortable enough, right? So it's like it set up a little seating area for me right on the edge of the stage. The photographs I got from that position, looking past Ed to the crowd, I mean, just immense. I love the kid. He's fantastic.
Isn't that awesome?
He gave an ashtray so you could have a couple of darts while you watched him as well.
Did you say where are the...
Matey! What a nice fella.
Where are the beers, Ed?
Hey, did you make the punch for him?
The
or
vodka.
Is he concentrating too much?
Well, we haven't actually been in the same room for a while, but he tells me it's still his favourite. However, a thing has come up, and I didn't call you about this, but I might as well admit to it to you guys, because you guys will get the most pleasure out of it.
What have you done?
I put together a little... I found this product in Ireland, right? And I put together a little group of guys, and I said, try this. Do you like it? Yeah. I said, like, should we get involved in this? Anyway, so I'll tell you the story. You'll probably be hearing about this a lot in a little while, because it's going to be launched here in Australia by Coles on the 1st of March.
Here we go.
So in the county of Donegal, there's a little town called Muff.
Muff?
Muff.
Like M-U-F-F?
The name of the town, Muff, right? Now, back in the day, this guy, Phil McClanahan, right, he was, he's a potato farmer, right? Of course, right? You're in Ireland, he's a potato farmer, right? But on the weekends, he would experiment with what else he could do with potatoes.
Okay.
So he became a bootlegger, and he used to make a thing called poutine, right, which is like a liquor based on potatoes, and extremely strong. If you've had the real stuff, it's sometimes, you know, a little more than an alcohol. It feels more like, you know, it's like magic mushrooms or something.
Poison.
Not that I have any experience with that.
No, just off the record, yeah.
So he used to, you know, sell his liquor in old medicine bottles, right? People finished their cough medicine while he'd clean them out, put the poachine, and, you know, Friday would come around, and all the people from the town would come past his place to pick up something for the weekend, you know? And his granddaughter, there's a girl called Laura Bonner, you know, she looked at what her grandfather had created, and she decided to legitimize the company, right?
Yeah.
The company that makes whiskey, potato gin, potato vodka. The company is called the Muff Liquor Company. And I can proudly tell you that I've bought into the company and I am a muff liquor man.
This is just
Anyway, what we should be talking about is these digs coming up in Coffs Harbour on Monday and Tuesday, 23rd, 24th.
This is extraordinary. You're not joking, are you? Hang on a minute. Hang on. We're going to get to the indoor garden party.
I can see.
Hang on a minute.
I can see the Daily Telegraph tomorrow.
Get off the floor and back to the microphone.
Front page of the paper tomorrow will be Russell Crowe's new venture. He is
He's gone from 30-odd foot to muff liquor.
It's going to be Crowe admits he's a muff liquor man.
Michael Douglas has given us a call.
If you've just tuned in, it's a new brand of alcohol that has been released. Oh, that is gold.
It's going to be on the shelves in Coles March 1st. Just in time for you to stock up for September.
Oh, my God. I'll give it a crack.
You'll have to send us a bottle.
I'll tell you what, the potato gin, fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Little gin and tonic at the end of a long, hard day.
Mate, we're on to it, Russ.
Always delivers, Russell Crowe. Always delivers.
Just onto your mates as well. You were just talking about Ed as well, but you've also got a very another close mate. And, mate, one of our favourite movies was The Nice Guys. Ryan Gosling is here filming The Fall Guy at the moment. Have you caught up with he and Eva?
We haven't actually seen each other because I haven't spent much time in Sydney. I've gone back into Australia and I've gone basically straight up to the bush. And when I did have time in Sydney, when I was down for just before Christmas for my eldest son Charlie's birthday and stuff like that, he had actually flown back to LA. But we've been texting backwards and forwards, and he's loving it down here, man.
Yeah,
he's shutting down the bridge on Sunday, Russell.
Yeah, I've heard. It's fantastic.
You've never done that, Russell. You've never shut down the
Mate,
bridge.
we tried to with Poker Face, and they just looked at us like, forget about it.
Really?
No. But then obviously, somebody's getting something out of it.
This is something putting it on the map.
I mean, look, the more that we can encourage film production in this country, I know it's a bit of a hassle and a pain in the ass sometimes, and a film unit goes into a neighborhood and everything, but you just got to think in terms of the economic flush that comes with a film production. They might be coming over and spending, let's say $100 million, right? The vast majority of that money just remains in the country, whether it's through wages, whether it's for payment for services, whether it's, hiring places and venues and what have you, or equipment and stuff. The film industry as an economic catalyst is a great thing to encourage.
Yeah, definitely.
And your life is here, the bridge is down.
That is Indoor Garden Party there. They are playing the iconic Hoey Moey in Coffs Monday and Tuesday night, and a man that's in that band, and he looks so excited to be back on stage as well as Russell Crowe, and he's stuck around. Thanks for sticking around, Russ.
Russell, how many does the Hoey Moey take?
Those shows actually will centre around a new band that I've put together called the Gentlemen Barbers. So it is an indoor garden party, but it's sort of starring the Gentlemen Barbers. The show starts quite early. The doors open at 5. There's the Jennings String Quartet goes on first. They're going to play a whole bunch of stuff from various movies I've been in, like Now We Are Free from Gladiator, Boccherini's The Dribs, and Master and Commander, things like that.
Yes,
wow.
yes.
Then this young Sydney band called Myth of Her. They're actually a metal band, but for this gig, they're going to be playing acoustically.
Okay.
They've got really, really good songs. Their musicality is top-notch.
Brilliant.
And then there's this girl, Lorraine O'Reilly, who plays with Indoor Garden Party, but she's her own thing, and she's going to sing a few songs. She's from Cavan in Ireland. She's kind of like the Irish Bonnie Raitt. She's got this grating voice. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
And there's this girl, Janet Devlin, also Irish, from Northern Ireland. And you can look her up. You can look both of them up online, actually, and see lots of songs. Janet has this beautiful, breathy, most unusual voice. And then we've got the Gentlemen Barbers, and there's a couple of other people we can't talk about this.
Oh,
Huge
surprise guest.
Well, it does say special guests.
On Monday and Tuesday, different guests on the different nights.
Hey, you were just talking Gladiator before, Russ, and every time we speak to you, it has been announced, Ridley Scott has said that he is making a Gladiator sequel. How involved are you in this?
Not at all.
Oh, not at all. Has he spoken to you at all, though, Russ?
Yeah, we've had dinner and talked about it and all that sort of stuff, so I know roughly how he's shaping the story. It steps off. It's as if remember there was the young kid who wanted to meet the gladiator.
Yes.
And which leads to the "My name is" speech,
Yep.
So that young kid has grown up, and he's now the emperor.
Oh, right.
I don't know what else happens at that point, but that's the idea.
But you would think there would be...
It's not a remake, and it's not a direct sequel. It's not like the day after.
Yeah. Sure.
30 years later or something, and then this situation arises.
Hey, you recently took the family to the Colosseum, Russ. What was that like to go there? And you were talking before about going to an Ed Sheeran concert, but what's it like when Russell Crowe goes to the Colosseum? Is it crazy?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do you go in disguise, or do you just cop it?
Yeah. So that I actually tweeted, taking the kids to see my old office. And that got 43 million impressions on Twitter.
Wow.
And it was sort of like, front page news in Italy. You know what they did in the city of Rome? Earlier in the year, they made me Ambasciatore di Roma nel mondo.
Oh.
The ambassador for Rome in the world.
Wow.
So it's an official title, and I've got an award for it and all that sort of stuff.
That is great.
So that was kind of beautiful, like that the city of Rome would sort of reach out and go, you know what? You really promoted tourism without really knowing it, and so here's a little pat on the back. Thanks for your work, Max.
I would have loved to have been Max. I would have loved to have been a tourist that just turned up on that day. Obviously, never seen.
I used to have fun when I was going in and out of Rome for press, right? Because as you come to the Colosseum, there's a road that sort of wraps around it, and you come from the Circus Maximus side, you wrap around the Colosseum, and then you go into the Centro Storico, which is where I usually stay. Yeah. So what I would do, because of the traffic there, I'd say to the driver, I'll just get out here, I'll meet you on the other side. So we'd be driving around the Colosseum, I'd jump out, and I'd just walk past it. And by the time I'd walk past it, he was there, and I'd just step back in. But I just walk past it as if, this is the first time I've ever seen this place. But you're walking amongst thousands of people all lining up, going to the Colosseum, and then you can sort of sense the wave behind you. Yeah. And you go, what the fuck? What was that?
Is he here all the time?
And then you just turn and just very low voice, are you not entertained?
Oh, what a moment. And all these Americans are there. Oh, my God, it's Gladiator himself.
Mate,
what a moment.
I love that city, man. Rome is just the most beautiful place.
It's beautiful. It's magnificent. Hey, we had a guy that is taking the world by storm at the moment. Sam Worthington was on the show at 6:30 this morning. He's got a new movie out, Transfusion, and obviously Avatar's gone crazy as well. And you guys are doing the Georgetown Project. Is this just quickly? Is it a horror? Is it a horror movie, Russ?
Well, it's kind of a very interesting piece. That actually, we shot it in 2019. And then they had some problems in post-production, and it was a combination of two guys being the directors.
Yes. And
so they were sort of taken off the project.
Right.
But then the pandemic hit, and everything just got put on hold.
Right.
So last December, the December just passed, we finally got around to doing some reshoots, which will complete it. But it's very cool.
It's very
this thing. It's sort of like a horror film, but it's also, a drama as well combined. So it's a kind of a movie about a guy who used to be a famous actor. Mm-hmm. And then he, through various addictions or whatever, and he hit, hard times, and then he gets an opportunity to go onto a movie because the main actor has an accident and dies. Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So he goes on the movie. So from my perspective, it's a very challenging thing because you're there as the person in a natural state, but then every time he sort of starts to act, he's not very good at it.
Right, I see.
It was never a skill, so it was quite a hard thing to do. You're in front of a camera and stuff like that, and now you've got to act like you don't know how to act.
Yes,
so it was pretty tricky, but I've seen the latest cut, and it's superior. So, the mood of the piece is fantastic.
Well,
and it's cool. And of course, I got to work with Sam. Now, the thing that connects me and Sam is way back in the day, and this sort of happens in my business, is like you have to speak for other people.
Sure.
And way back in the day, the head of, I think it was Fox Studio at the time, pretty sure, he calls me and he says, now, break this down for me. Tell me about this kid, And I had met Sam because Stephen Bastoni,
Yep.
another actor friend of mine who I've known for a long time, I did theatre with Stephen in the 80s, you know. He just called me and he said, listen, man, I want to bring Sam Worthington over to meet you because I get a sense of you from him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he came over, we had a couple of beers one afternoon, got to know each other and stuff, you know. So I was actually in a perfect position when that studio head called. It was a highly competitive role that he was up for, and you know, so I was able to just speak on his behalf and, you know, do a little soft sell on the whole idea that he should get the gig. And, of course, that gig turned out to be Avatar.
Wow. Of course. This is amazing. And you know, he spoke... Okay, so we had a chat to him this morning, spoke glowingly about you, Russ. This is what he had to say.
I love Russell. And Russell always said to me, support the industry,
young.
support people coming in. Yeah, and that's what he did to me.
I love that.
Give me lots of advice. Don't do this.
Right.
Don't try to stay away from this. Try not to do this.
And was this around
Learn from his mistakes?
Was it around a campfire at the farm?
No, I didn't. It was all on emails over the course of my career. He's been doing it since I was young.
And I love that. And he also said one time he came around to your place and he'd made a Tofog T-shirt. And he said, I wasn't sure whether to wear it. I'd made the T-shirt to show the support. I was nervous coming round in it.
It was so funny, man, because I had no idea. And he never told me the first time we met. But later, when we were working together, you know, which is like, what's a decade or more later, you know, we're working together in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I was just talking about something I'd been writing or whatever. And he started telling me, I went to see you in this venue. I saw you in this venue. And I had no idea that he'd been... you know, in the crowd for the footage run shows, you know.
Yeah. Hey, awesome. He revealed to us this morning that he auditioned for Bond. He did an audition for Bond. Have you done that, Russ?
Well, off the back of the success of Gladiator and Beautiful Mind, there was a lot of talk about it at one point, you know.
Yep.
And they came to both Ridley and I, but they came to us separately, you know. But, you know, we talk all the time, so it was like, did you get called by Bond? Yeah, did I get called by Bond? And I said to Ridley, you know, there's only one reason I would do that film. I have one gag, right, that I want to do. Yeah. And I said, I want to start the film speaking in a Scottish accent. And Ridley goes, oh, but everybody will just think you're trying to copy Sean Connery. I said, exactly. That's exactly right. Right? We want people to think, oh, what a wanker. He's trying to do a Sean Connery, you know. But then the next scene, right, is set on a beach, right? And there's this girl, she might be topless, she's sunbathing and whatever. The situation comes up, and then you realise that this guy that was speaking in a Scottish accent is now speaking in a different accent. Yeah. So it kind of sets up this thing that this particular version of Bond is a master of disguise. And the girl on the beach says to him, what's your name? And he says, Bondi.
There it is.
He made Ridley laugh, but he said, I'm not spending 2 years of my life for that guy.
James Bondi. I reckon it's worth it. I reckon it's worth it just for that moment. I'd back it in.
Russ.
I love that, buddy.
We know how busy you are. Poker Face is just out. You can still catch that on Stan as well. And more movies coming out, but Indoor Garden Party and The Gentleman Barbers. Monday night, Tuesday night, Hoey Moey in Coffs. It's going to be a magnificent night. It's always a pleasure to get you on, Russell Crowe. We love having you on the show, mate, and we always appreciate your time because we know how busy you are.
Cheers, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day and have a great weekend.
Thanks, great man. Talk soon. Bye, mate.
You're listening to the Fitzy and Wippa podcast.